we're going to be involved in as much as we can, if from a little bit of support to full sponsorship of whatever the things are when it's the right fit. There are so many wonderful things, resources we have in this region.
Welcome to the In the Arena podcast. My name is Jared Miguez, a co-host on this podcast that brings you the inspiring stories of our clients who are leaders and innovators across different industries in Southeast Louisiana. They are visionary entrepreneurs, savvy real estate professionals, media creators, military business owners, and community champions. And we are going to showcase the remarkable achievements and share their personal stories. Tune in for insightful conversations, valuable lessons, and motivational stories that are going to reveal their secrets to success and offer you insights to help you on your own path. Welcome to In the Arena podcast. Welcome to the show today. This is the In the Arena podcast. We got Brian Shirey.
That's it.
Not to be confused with Shirley. Brian Shirey here with the Northshore Media Group. And I'm really excited to tell everybody what y'all have going on and how y'all's feelings towards growth in our area and all that type of stuff. So welcome to the show, buddy.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate what y'all do.
Yeah, so let's first start with the Northshore Media Group as a whole. I mean, if you're from Covington, you think that it's a broadcast studio and a magazine. And then as you kind of learn more about the company, you realize that y'all have 13 locations. So
much more.
Yeah, it's bigger than that. So talk about what y'all are doing, where you came from, and what y'all are doing now.
So it started as just a couple of radio stations owned by Wayne Dowdy in Macomb, Mississippi, who was a second generation broadcaster. His father, they're actually originally from Georgia. They sold everything. They sold everything and sold their house, sold their property, picked up and moved to the coast of Mississippi to open up because
it's a great place.
When radio was the only thing practically. You know, you had television. This is in the 50s or 60s. I don't know exactly when. Maybe I should.
We're not that old.
Yeah. So but then one of his sons, he had two sons. One's still heavily in the radio business on the coast and throughout the South, and the other son, Wayne Dowdy, moved to Macomb, started a law practice, and bought some radio stations, and just began to grow. Well, that grew into
always starts with them damn lawyers.
Yeah, that's right. Lawyers everywhere. You got to have them, but
Yeah.
I'll watch my tongue. So we so that over the time grew into 13 radio stations that we have now, and with offices and studios in Brookhaven and Macomb, Mississippi, and Hammond and Covington, Louisiana.
Yeah.
So we have two primary. So we're talking about the North Shore in particular. Yes, all that goes on up there. But we also have 4 print publications. It's evolved into 4 regular print publications. We do some annual things for football and for local, and then we've introduced a podcast service where we'll do soup to nuts production for you, or just give you good quality audio, or help you distribute it, whatever your podcast is that you have. So we have that service, and then we have digital products where web design and social media management, SEO. All the digital things.
Yep.
You can't even say all the things. There are too many.
Right. The new crap that we all have to do.
Right.
And a new thing happens every week.
Yeah.
And so I think that again, Northshore Media Group, it's an organization that helps businesses grow, finds opportunity to help them promote their business. Right.
Well, we are a media company. We are a local media company. So we have all of our platforms. We utilize our platforms to for local news, sports, weather, emergency information, the local nonprofit, civic organizations to discuss what they're doing to help connect the community.
Awesome.
And for local businesses, to entertain just the general public.
Yeah.
And with local content, you can get national anywhere.
People like to see themselves anyway, so it's good.
They do. And then to offer local businesses a cost-effective option to market their business to their most likely customers.
Yeah.
So, our business model is, again, I said where we were in Brookhaven and Macomb and Hammond and over in St. Tammany. There's Jackson, Baton Rouge, and New Orleans. Big media markets, big population centers. And then there's that I-55, I-12 corridor that everyone wants to assume is theirs, but we're the afterthought, realistically, to the metros. There's enough going on in Baton Rouge and New Orleans and Jackson for all of those media outlets to discuss those things. Well,
thank you for stepping in.
The local jambalaya cook-off for the little girl who has cancer is not getting anything. Mm-hmm. We offer those things. It's that local, real thing. Now we get local, yokel, also, but then we also talk regional. And I mean, we're a serious player in the North Shore economy, and helping affect a lot of things.
We were talking before we got on the camera today about how this area has now become its own MSA, right? Yeah. In St. Tammany, to be able to, we have enough business and people here that do business and stay here locally now that we can be seen as our own statistic. And so being able to promote things that are going on. I mean, I personally have been on the radio promoting our local, the
Heroes Who
Cook with the what's the name of the Hope House, right? Who protect young kids in the area. I've been on for a couple of other charitable events that we've done. We've been in y'all's magazine and stuff like that. I mean, y'all do a great job helping businesses make a name for themselves. And so, I think that it's fun to be around other people who are helping other businesses grow.
Well, and the spirit of what I said, it's entertaining and just connecting the community. So as the only broadcast media that's dedicated to the North Shore and the communities where we serve, we take pretty much in St. Tammany, Lake 94.7 and Highway 104.7, caters a little more to Washington Parish, but it's heard and relevant all over the Florida parishes. So we want to connect what's happening locally through the entertainment. We work hard to earn the ears through good content, through good music people want to listen to, local news so they're engaging with the ears, and then to turn around and we rent those ears back out, or those eyes in the magazines, by producing a good product. And as the only one that's talking local consistently and day in, day out, we're the clearinghouse for that. And fortunately, nobody can just come in and flop on a radio station and come and compete with us. Really,
right.
Yeah. We just have to do the best job we can of producing a good product that's locally relevant, so more people want to engage.
It's so hard in marketing, so we get that all the time because we have a really big marketing budget for our company. We've been in the practice of law now 15 years, but like starting this company just 2 years ago, staying relevant means a lot. And, a decade ago when you could touch a person 5 times for them to take action, I feel like you have to do it, somewhere in the teens today. And so I love the different outlets that y'all have. And I think so much of it is attributed to using local people that actually understand our community. When we're engaging with anybody that works at your print publications, like they know exactly what we need because they're part of it. They're engaging with the community every day. And that relevance is important to me, to know that it's a business that understands the same challenges that we have because we're fellow businesses together supporting one another.
Well, and it's in a very crowded media landscape and diversified as it's become more and more diversified. You said you could have radio, and then there was radio and television, and then there was always newspapers. Well, then that's turned around, and the digital world has taken that to a level that everyone's attention had to be in the past on one of a handful of things. Right. And you could touch the most people by engaging in one form, and then you could expand and you could be consistent. Well, now
you can't do that today.
You don't know. It becomes very granular.
Yep. And
it's an experiment, and there's no one magic bullet that they'll take and do it all, unless you have. Somebody asked, how much does my marketing budget need to be? I said, how long is a piece of rope?
Yeah. And look, there's rubric, there's metrics.
How much?
Yeah. There's metrics that we've studied, right? And, my first answer to everyone is like, yeah, I can give you everything that's in the books. It hasn't changed from years ago because, again, it's ever evolving, so they can't attribute it to one thing anymore. So that metric's outdated. Yeah. But who are you speaking to? Like, that's what most businesses don't even understand. Like, you have to first know who you're speaking to and how they receive their information. Then you can make a decision where you dip your toe. Then you're making more money that you can diversify and invest in other areas and decide how you want that marketing to push. So I know that's just one of the challenges when people are coming to us constantly asking us, how can I replicate what you're doing? It's like, you may not need to, based on your industry, based on who your ideal client is, and what you're trying to accomplish.
Right. But from Northshore Media Group's the opportunities that y'all provide is that not everybody's going to be picking up a magazine and reading a magazine. Not everybody's turning on the radio anymore, and not everybody is listening to podcasts. But if you walk in, if you are understand who your ideal
we're doing
client
this,
is,
and not everybody's listening.
Yeah, exactly.
But you're going to get a lot of views off this.
Of course, yeah, for sure. But like if you know who your ideal client is, like she's saying, and you walk into y'all's office and you know who you're speaking to, if they give a profile, you can say, okay, if this is your profile, this is how I think you should be getting in front of your clients. Right. You need to have, you need to spend some money on the print magazine. You can stay away from the podcast. You can do the radio. Like, you can give more of a direct answer to that. But a business owner's got to be able to walk in with that information and give it to you guys in order for y'all to be able to effectively give them that answer.
Well, it used to be our account reps, our salespeople were going in and peddling one thing, right? Here's radio. Then here's radio and print, and here, let's force you into this shoe.
Yeah. Upsells.
And I say it was their job to try to force it. It was to make sure that we're presenting, and is this a good fit? There are plenty of people that will I don't have anything to offer you. I don't have a billboard. I don't have a TV, and you need a billboard right there on that highway. And so here are my friends at Lamar's phone number, or whatever that is. And so we have no problem turning away business if it's not a good fit. We're not going to take the money just for the sake of taking money. And some people come with small budgets. They'll come and say, "Hey, I've got $200. This is what I'm trying to accomplish." And we'll explain to them that you're not. I would love to take you $200 one time. I'd rather you go. Let's come up with a plan. Yeah. You come up with a budget. Let's get that money together, and then let's have a real plan that we can give an honest shot at executing rather than just take quick cash.
Yeah.
So as we added, so we had radio, and then we added print, and that has its own story and how it came about. Sarah Cottrell, who's the publisher of Edge of the Lake magazine, came to us with that concept, and we started. And she manages our. She's a market manager for our St. Tammany. Yeah, we
love her.
She has great passion, and very talented. So that evolved into another print, and then we kind of pumped the brakes on print for a second. Because we've gone into podcasting and digital, also offering those. So you can come to me, and we can go in any client and say, what are you trying to accomplish? What's your marketing? What are your marketing goals? What are your sales goals? What are your business goals? Well, these are the things. This is everything we have in our toolbox. So instead of trying to really push for a print ad buy, to be able to push them, say, you know what, maybe some radio, raising awareness of a podcast and pointing people to your podcast because you have such a story to tell. I don't know if you can just tell it in this print ad. Yeah. I don't know if you can just tell it in a 30-second radio commercial or on display ads that go out to whoever's playing their games on their computer or whatever the thing is. Yeah. So it's really opened us up to a dynamic. It just be
you're
kind
customizable.
Of a one-stop shop for anybody,
unless
you want a billboard or TV. But I have friends in billboard and TV business that are reputable.
As a lawyer, I have an aversion to billboards because of lawyers on Bonham.
Yeah, for sure.
Avoid those.
Well, I'll tell you something. I mean, just to talk about Sarah a little bit more, because she's our account rep that we deal with whenever we work with her. The thing that I always tell people whenever they ask me about magazine ads or print ads is like, well, nobody reads magazines anymore. Why are you using that as a marketing tool? And I tell people, well, first of all, I know that the people that are reading that magazine is our ideal client because we have in a very detailed way identified who that is. But the second reason why I use print with specific publishers is because I tell them that I want to build a relationship with them as a publisher, because mostly our ideal client is going to be the other advertisers in their magazine. So I want them to understand who my ideal client is, not only to know that I'm going to be getting my stuff in front of them from an ad standpoint, but also when Sarah's out networking with people, I know for a fact that she's thinking about how can I connect people with Jared and their team. Yeah. And I think that makes all the difference in the world when you have salespeople that are plugged into the community, that are throwing music festivals, that are networking with other people, and have an ear out for what you need in order for you to help you grow. And I think Sarah does a great job at that. And
she does, and all of our teams do. In each of our markets, we're local. I've had salespeople that want to come from New Orleans, apply for sales positions, and it respectfully, as good as they can be, I'm not. It doesn't fit our business model.
Yeah,
we're family owned. We are local in the communities where we serve. Sarah lives here. Rebecca lives here. Cindy lives here. The people that are here, community. They're pumping gas. They're getting groceries. They're eating dinner. They're going to the fairs and festivals. They're going to the networking events with the local nonprofits, and we replicate that in each market where we serve. So over here, out of our St. Tammany office, they're doing that. They're doing the things. We're doing the things. We're getting them on the radio. We're not just getting them on the radio and getting them in a thing. We're talking about it. We're going to the event with them, and we're coming back with real stories and really pumping it up. And it's about networking and relationships and not just buying the ad, but the expectation is, hey, I'm looking for X. Oh yeah, you know what? I'm familiar with this plumber or this electrician or this attorney or this whatever it is.
Yeah.
And we take out a magazine and show them.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we also say, hey, make sure you save it.
That's right. That's right.
Make sure who made this.
Tell them where you
connection.
got it.
I think, y'all met at the chamber event, right? We've seen each other speak at other events, and I think we all host events, so we see each other there. And some of the, Edge of the Lake events that y'all have had as well. But I think what resonated and why you're here today is because we're all serving that bigger purpose of supporting our communities from an economic development standpoint, right? We're not just siloed into our business or into our industry, wondering how we ourselves can selfishly get where we need to go. We sat down and just introducing ourselves, we're jumping into a conversation because we care about the development and the future of the communities that we serve. And they're all so closely connected. Like when you say the North Shore, that word is so expansive to me. I think some people look at it with a limited mindset, but I mean, you're Tangi grown, right? And still feel that you're local to the North Shore because you told me a story as a child that you were in St. Tammany Parish, for your hobbies. Like it's so closely connected that our economic development will undoubtedly be connected for our future. And so it's important for us to collaborate in that way.
And it is. And the more we can, there was an old mindset, and there still is, and it will evolve. We've watched it evolve. In St. Tammany, I was in the beer business for 22 years before I was with this. I was in the Miller system.
We should totally be having a beer right now. We dropped that ball.
I have no problem with that. Primarily the Miller system. Jim Carey Distributing is where I started. They had a location in Hammond and Covington and LaPlace at the time. Ultimately, those consolidated down into Covington, and they're not here anymore. They sold to Crescent Crown. That piece doesn't matter. My point is, it was a regional business. I didn't see lines when I was in business. We distributed from Slidell to Denham Springs, down to St. John, to LaPlace, Destrehan, all out there. It was all just business.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, I had the luxury of being able to be exposed to all those and understanding from a relatively young age. I did it from the time I was 18. That I used to think Slidell was like 3 hours away, right? But the people in Slidell are their own people. The people in Mandeville are their own people. The people in Covington, the people in Hammond and Ponchatoula and Reserve and LaPlace and Denham. And so most people don't get to see that all across that spectrum because, you're a Covington boy, Covington and you hate Mandeville, and you're a Hammond boy and you hate Ponchatoula, and then the north end of Tangipahoa hates the south end, and the east side of St. Tammany hates, there's this competition.
No, there's still a
but
rift.
some of it's there, and it's a real thing. Yeah. So as the world evolves and the I-12 corridor fills up and the causeway fills up St. Tammany, and that bleeds over and Baton Rouge fills up, and it's bleeding over into Tangipahoa, and Washington Parish is getting full. It's all becoming one, and with fewer and fewer natives, if you will, that have that older mindset. So it's coming, whether you like it or not. It's coming.
I can tell you, from somebody who's not from here, being from Alexandria, and coming and I went to LSU for undergrad, Loyola for law school, didn't want to live in the city anymore, so I moved up here, and I had some friends from college from up here. But I mean, people say often that it's a hard market to break into. I think it is a fun and rewarding market to break into. To me, I don't want to say it's easy because it was a lot of hard work. But if you come in here and you work hard and do what you say you're going to do, people are going to welcome you. There's a ton of opportunity, and you're going to be successful. You do what people hear is they want you to they want you to be humble because it's still a small enough town for that. They want to know that you're going to come here and work hard and you care and you want to get back to the community. And if you do those things and do the right thing, it is a rewarding market for you to be a part of. People will, and
that message resonates across all the parishes that
all
we
those
just
parishes,
mentioned.
and I'm the same way.
The whole Florida parishes. That's
correct.
That's the truth.
I've never seen lines. I mean, you'll have people, especially where we're at in Covington. You can be in Mandeville in 20 minutes. You can be in Hammond in 20 minutes. You can be in Slidell in 20 minutes. It's such a centralized hub between all those main areas and markets that it's so much opportunity and it's fun, and the Tangi. I mean, Hammond's the only one that's not in St. Tammany, but it's just so closely held to here.
And as the growth happens on this Madisonville line, I mean, you're going to constantly see that those blended lines.
It's going to continue.
The
to
ones
grow.
that people think exist.
that people think exist.
Yeah, I mean, everybody that knows me knows I'm a Slidell girl, homegrown, and so I grew up, my family owning businesses there, and it was very separated. I mean, we had our own chamber. right? And so
Right.
being on the board and the executive committee now for the chamber, like I love seeing the effort that they're making to combine those together, because there's so much that we can benefit from one another. But same time, as a business owner, we still have the challenges that we have 5 locations, right? And our 2 main locations are Slidell and Covington. So you would think that that's one marketing plan, that's one set of parties. It's not. Our budget has to double, because when we have an event here, my Slidell people aren't driving for it. We have an event there, the Covington people aren't driving for it. So, I mean, I think that as we continue to have these conversations, as bigger business comes and our minds open to the possibility of what St. Tammany Parish can really offer, and understanding when we want to have talent acquisition and talent to stay here, that the support that both sides of the parish, it's different vibes that you're given, right? It's different opportunities, different type of businesses on what they're looking for and where they're going to be. And so I just, again, educating people on that availability, I think will help keep those lines blurred, open them up.
I think over
Eliminate
time,
'em.
over time, it's going to happen. And not that anyone wants Slidell or Mandeville or Covington or Hammond or Ponchatoula to lose their identity.
At all, right?
They're going to have their
you
own.
can't.
The
You
people,
can't.
the people are. It's a different vibe in every
Correct.
place, and that's good. But to have everybody just relax just a little bit
Right.
and say, you know what, driving to Slidell is not.
No.
It's really not that.
I do
big
it
a
4 or
deal.
5 days a week.
It's not to drive to, for people in Covington or Mandeville to drive to an event at Southeastern. It's like, oh my God, I'm not going all the way to Hammond.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
Well, so let's
It's
talk
right
about
around
and
the
the
corner.
same thing there. People is like, oh, I'm not going to go fight
Well,
the
the
Mandeville
trick,
traffic.
I got to tell people the
Covington.
trick. You find that really good restaurant, and then you're like, oh, I get to go to that restaurant if I go
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Yeah, I have no problem going to Kate Street Seafood and get that marketplace roll over there.
It's
anytime.
good.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Good. I've had
That's
that.
right. Find your spot.
Yep. But so let's talk about that a little bit. You know what I think is impressive, and I know we were there at the Tangipahoa Parish Chamber event last week together. The Southeastern, what they're doing in that market is great, especially Dean Lopez with the College of Business. I've been spending time with her and some of the people over there. They're doing some pretty impressive stuff over there too.
Dr. Lopez we went to high school together. She thinks I don't remember her from high school, but I do.
Wait, you were that guy?
She's just a lot older than me.
Oh, he didn't say that.
I did not say that.
I'll get
We're
him after.
practically the same age. I think she might be younger than me, actually. I don't know. No, she's doing an incredible job over there, and we do what we can to support the College of Business in Southeastern as a whole. I'm glad you brought up Southeastern because we were talking about regionalism. Southeastern, St. Tammany Parish has the largest Southeastern alumni base, largest population of Southeastern alum. And Dr. Wainwright has done an incredible job of understanding regionalization and the benefit that St. Tammany can help provide in so many alums' alma mater. When we talk about that regionalism, and there's the St. Tammany Tangipahoa thing. Pretend there's not a line there. Southeastern, there are parishes, there are regions that would sell their firstborn to have a university as vibrant with the leadership that we have now at this university. Every 6 months, Hammond has a secret weapon, a couple of them actually. That's the interstates. Okay, nice interstate, great regional airport, tower, and everything. That's good. That can all be there. Whatever, that could just be there. The most valuable asset it has is that university. That university every 6 months
Producing
brings
people.
in a whole crop of brand new 18, 19, 20-year-olds, and they come here. And they don't just live, they might live at Southeastern. There's a little commuting that goes back and forth. But how many, the alum base in St. Tammany Parish alone, it's because they were there. And so the economy is the same. It's sharing, it's actually feeding
Recruiting people.
that
Recruiting our
university
growth.
over there. So if the line's not there, imagine it's in the same town, region. There's everything flows. My radio stations don't cut off.
Stop at the line.
Stop at lines. No, you're hearing them in winners from our Hammond stations, the ones that are based in Hammond, winners from Abita, Covington, Mandeville, all the time. Like they're listening to the stations. Our content's about what's happening in Tangipahoa, like on Lake 94.7. The content's about what's happening over here, but people don't know. People don't care. The people,
Right.
The people who care are the ones that are uptight. Gen Pop, the general population does not.
No.
They don't like if there's a store in Hammond they want to go to, they're going to go. If there's a store and they're not. We're the ones.
No,
I
it's
say
all
we're-
local business.
It's all local,
All local
business.
business.
We're
Please
all
support
local.
local.
The whole,
Just say it every single
the
time.
whole North Shore is local business.
That's right.
If you cannot buy it online, if you cannot buy it across the lake, put your tax dollars back into our parishes, for our roads, for our everything that we have, the place to support the place we all choose to call home.
Yeah, 100%. So what do y'all got going on for the next couple of months? I know we've got we're doing a couple of events coming up with the St. Tammany Corporation and with Chenzo over there.
They do
that we're
great
trying
work.
to promote. And then, and I'll say this too, this was kind of me kind of pushing this plug. You mentioned at the 40 under 40 event last year that you wanted to do an alumni event for the 40 under 40.
Yeah.
Lauren was
Yeah,
Lauren
somehow
received the
we
award.
got tagged with that, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, good
well,
job.
Noble was right behind me whenever you pointed to her and said, y'all should do the event. And so I turned around to Noble and I sent her a text and I said, hey, we'd love to do that at our office. So in April, we're going to be hosting the first 40 under 40 alumni event at our office downstairs in
First
Covington.
200, right?
Yeah, I think it's 200
First
people. are gonna
200,
be
40
there.
under
That's
40.
awesome. Sarah should have all their contact information.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've already kind of looped in Sarah for that.
We're excited.
So, again, that whole 40 under 40 program that y'all put together is great. So why don't you talk a little bit about that and how that kind of came to be?
Well, Noble and Sarah, well, I don't know. From where I sit in the world, by the time things get to me, I don't know
Where did it
exactly.
start,
I don't,
right?
know, I don't know where it came from.
But I thought it was a
exactly,
great
But I
idea.
said, yes, that's a great idea. We need to do that. Let's double down on it. Sarah and Noble was part of the St. Tammany Young Professionals.
Yep.
This is the way I understand it. She sees this, she will completely correct me. I don't know if there's comment sections
Noble
on these
will
things.
get you on
but
later
she will-
to audit this.
Yeah.
So she, as part of that Young Professionals organization under the St. Tammany Chamber, they had conversation in one of their committee meetings or something. It's the way I understand it. And then Sarah Noble came to Sarah and suggested, "Hey, let's do this." And Sarah was like, "100%, yes, let's do it." She came, she brought the idea, and we were like, 100%, yes, let's do it. But we're not going to make it a St. Tammany. We're members of the St. Tammany Chamber and all that. So, but we want to make it bigger than that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because using our platforms,
Why?
that's where
Because
we
it's
can.
a region.
Because it's regional. We're doing everything we can to begin
Amen.
to
Yeah, that was the
to
best part,
support
is
that idea.
Seeing that there was people from Tangipahoa Parish that were
Tangipahoa.
listening to 40 and Slidell and Covington.
We had Washington Parish. So so we have it's a regional thing, and we want to make sure that we are supporting and then starting that cross pollination with those professionals from Slidell to to Tangipahoa. Those are the people these are the ones that are coming up that are going to be making the difference, that need to be networking, that don't necessarily belong to a professional women's organization or a chamber or something else. They could just be they don't even know those things,
Right.
but to begin to foster that. So
And they get to meet one another through the process.
Yes.
And those collaborative minds, that's our future.
that's it. So to get those groups of people together is great. And
So
then
much more than one magazine cover a year.
so much more.
Yeah.
That's where that makes the connections, and then that's where the real organic growth takes. And then I just hope that all those people, whenever they become big executives and they have big marketing budgets, they turn around and they say,
They will. They'll have to. They have to. It's where it started.
Yeah,
"That's right."
I mean, so at that event, there's 40 young professionals that are given the honor of being named as a 40 under 40. I think there was like 250
nominations.
300 people that were nominated.
Yes.
So I mean, it's a big deal. But then you see the other people in the room that are over 40 now that still come back to support the group, and some of their employees or their leaders and their organizations are now being promoted. But you got medical professionals all the way to teachers and lawyers and all kinds of people.
Artists.
Yeah, and the people in the public sector that are making a difference with engineering
that was
and things
cool to
like that.
see.
It's a cool group of people that you see. Again, that collaborative mind. I mean, we're going to deal with somebody in the permitting department that may have been awarded 440, and we get to all network together, meet each other, realize we're all real people. We're all trying to come together and impact this community. So it makes a huge difference. And then seeing the support from the chamber from Tangipahoa Parish being represented as one of the main leaders in the group, and then the St. Tammany Parish, and then St. Tammany Corporation, and then you guys being there as the putting on the show. It's an impressive event that has been growing for 10 years now.
So we I think this is our 5th year.
5th year. Okay, it's 200
Fifth
people.
year.
40 times
40.
5 is 200.
Yeah.
That makes more sense than
Yeah.
40 times 10. That'd be double.
Like, man, with 10 years, I don't think we've been doing it for 10 years. I think this is our 5th. I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, because they
There's
said
so many
200.
moving parts. I can't keep up with all of it. But no, it really is nice to bring all that together. And Gulf Coast Bank, actually, we have community partners of St. Tammany Chamber and Tangibo Chamber. So for the event, it's rather than having a chamber or someone else host it, what we do is we take on some sponsors because there's some overhead in putting the together. St. Tammany Corp and Gulf Coast Bank. As soon as we came up with the concept, we're going to do it. I think we might have just done it the first year with no sponsors. I was like, okay, that was expensive, and I want to do it better.
Right.
So how can we? What can we do? So we sold tickets to. We give the honorees get their they can come obviously. They come on over.
Yeah.
Give me $50 and you can come to your own party.
Yeah.
No, so they come in for free, and we've been doing it at the Southern Hotel for the last couple of years. It's a
Always
really nice venue.
yeah.
It's gotten a little tight. We might be outgrowing it. We might have to go to their other venue next time. But anyway, with that said, we cover our expenses, and in those expenses, I've baked in $1,000 that we give to each of the young professionals committees of each of the chambers.
So cool.
Because the committees, the young professionals, they don't do anything. They do they do activities, but they don't have a budget per se out of the thing. So to take and put that right back into the young professionals specifically for each of those chambers to support that. So I'm looking forward to your
Happy hour. It's going to be great. I mean,
your
Another reason to throw a party.
your
Jared's
party.
on board.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm always
That's
going
good.
to take that.
I thought we got
percentage.
asked. Now that I know the real
Oh, no,
story
no. I was
for the
definitely-
budget, you
I have
volunteered.
No problem stating that I was the one who came up with that idea. And I knew Noble's busy with everything she's got going on, and so we have a team here that can help with some support for that type of stuff. So it was a good fit, and Noble's phenomenal at everything she does too. So it's always
Noble's
good
all right.
Yeah.
I'll kick him again. Second time.
She's
Well,
great.
and this will go out before that, so hopefully we can spread the news on that event before that gets here. So
Good, and we'll make sure that make sure you get with Sarah to get them
Absolutely.
all the contact information for everybody.
So, as we wrap up, I mean, I think that the two biggest takeaways from this is that if you're looking to grow your business, then the Northshore Media Group is going to have an opportunity for you to help market your company, whether in whatever way that you can.
Or point you in the right direction.
Yes,
We do, and what I'd leave with is yes, I want everybody's money. I want you to use my products. I do want those things, but overarching over all of that is I encourage everyone to engage with our properties. Radio. I just read a thing this morning. I should have printed it and brought it to you. Just in an article, radio is still the largest, broadest reach medium. Period. Above anything, above social media, above television is continuing to decline because there's so much streaming in the digital space. But it has held steady and not dipped. Podcasting is coming up. Podcasting, I think, gets about a 26% penetration, where radio's up at 86%. And so actually one complementing the other, and that's part of our business model is to use our platforms to then tease podcasts, right? And then point people back to the deeper content. So what I'm saying that is engage, and our intention, our overarching intention, is to bring the community together, to have a good, safe space for the largest possible audience, to have a non-adversarial space. When you're in your Facebook, when you're in your podcasts, even you're going to you've been targeted because you're a white male who lives in St. Tammany Parish, and you're a white female who lives in this and drives this kind of car and wears this kind of lipstick. Whatever it is, they know whatever the things are, the good kind. So we're just putting it out there. We're not collecting any information. We're just trying to put out good content. So we want people to engage in our products and bring the community together, not trying to sell them anything. Yeah, we want to sell them everything that's on there, but just to have a good, safe space. We want our magazines to do the same thing, to be a clearinghouse just for good information for people to be able to come together without being force-fed anything or just come in a good space to just be. Yeah. Do that. And that will be our mission, to get more people just engaged in our radio and our print products. But the radio is just so passive and so easy to do. And then go back
and
off
steady,
into the world.
because what is steady in business these days? Yeah. So I love that stat.
Well, I think if that is truly y'all's objective, I think y'all are doing a great job. I think the staff that y'all have is really helping y'all further that mission. And like I said, being a relationship based sales company, because everybody has sales in their organization if you're going to be successful, but having relationship based salespeople who know how to add value to people outside of just the services that you offer. So I think y'all are doing a great job, and I do love the fact that y'all are promoting regional and that y'all are supporting the community, because that's what we're all about here. We want to make sure that this community is a place where people can grow and be successful in their business. And so I think it's good, and I'm excited for us to partner on whatever we're partnering with in the future, whether that's directly with Northshore Media Group or with Sarah with Bluesberry and all the other things that she's doing. So
anything we can do, we're here to, we can't be involved in everything that we have an opportunity to, but we're going to be involved in as much as we can, if from a little bit of support to full sponsorship of whatever the things are when it's the right fit. There are so many wonderful things, resources we have in this region. We have so many jewels. The more we can all come together to appreciate those, we're in a state that's losing population. We're in a region that's gaining population. We're one of the few states, parishes in the state that have gained regions. I mean, we have individual parishes, but we're gaining. And so as the world comes back,
they're looking to the North Shore to help
in a position to grow and be the example. So
it's great.
Love what we do. Thank y'all for what you do.
Yeah, thanks, man. Well, thanks for coming on the show today. It's been good getting to know you even better than we knew you before.